Hey, everyone, I'd like to welcome you here this morning to the Jackson County Board of Supervisors meeting for Tuesday, March 14th of 2023. And with us today, we had Don Schwenker, Nick Weigel, myself, Mike Steinish are your county supervisors. We have Lisa and Bjorn from the auditor's office. Luann, our executive assistant, is watching over us. And Mary here from the media for the newspaper. Which one? Both.
Macocata Sentinel Press.
Macocata Sentinel Press, okay. So first on our agenda today is Mr. John Keys, our Jackson County Attorney. Good morning, John.
Good morning. Morning, Mike. Morning, Board.
Morning, John.
I'll be quick. As you know, the county attorney's office has been without an assistant for some time. I had, of course, put out some feelers and was talking with people. Recently, a few weeks ago, I interviewed an attorney up in Dubuque that I've known for 3 years. My name is John Bradke. He has a private practice firm up there for the last 10 years. John has really high ethical standards. He's got a sharp mind. We met a couple of times. I offered John a position. He thought about it for a week. He accepted it. So John Bradke is going to work with our human resources department to fill out the paperwork they need, but tentatively, assuming everyone's okay with that, he's going to start April 3rd. So I'm really excited to have gotten somebody of John's quality and caliber. And he's right up in Dubuque.
Well, good. I hope does he live in Dubuque? Is that correct?
He lives in Dubuque. So he's just gonna commute down. I told him that's fine. You can stay up there in Dubuque and just commute. I know a lot of assistants that do that, for many years, different counties, so.
Well, we certainly hope that works out, and we're glad they're happy, I should say, that you found somebody you think is capable of fulfilling what we need to have fulfilled, I guess. And
Yeah,
we're awaiting his appearance and to meet him, I guess.
excellent. All right.
Yeah.
Well, that's really all I had today. I just, and normally I would have introduced you first before I introduced him to the board before I formally offered him the job. But I've known John for a while now, and the second interview went so well. Frankly, I just didn't want to back out.
Well, I guess you can't put a title
Talked about with budget and all that.
It is exactly within those parameters. That's exactly what's budgeted, and I made that very clear to him. And he said that's not a concern at all. Really understand that going into. It's not on the agenda unless Lisa put it in. But if I may, real quickly, the closing on the parking lot is being delayed until the city council of Macocata can meet.
It was on my agenda, but I was just gonna ask you about that, so we can inform the board of that.
I want if you were going to talk about that.
No, it's fine, go ahead.
I got an email from Scenthaler's law firm. The city council has to release certain agreements and liens on the property. It's part of the economic development zone, that little portion is, so they need to release that portion. The 24th, as I understand it. So they'll sign those documents then we'll do our closing. We'll coordinate with Lisa whenever we can do that.
Is that because of the grants that they got for buying and renovating the property?
That's exactly right.
Everybody's okay with letting it go?
It is, and it's just gonna be that portion of it. So we wanna make sure we're not tied into that obligation. Okay. So
formalities, I hope.
it's all formalities. There isn't gonna be any problem at all. Caleb Peterson, of course, handled it for Scenthaler, and I've spoken with them, and we don't see any trouble.
Okay, I did see a couple emails for the closing on Welcome Center, so I don't know if you'll be around later, maybe discuss that a little bit. If we gotta go down, somebody has to show up down there, or if agreements can be made prior.
I think so. I did offer to Chuck to go down there just to represent the county and answer any questions and make one. So I can sort of lay his eye on the board if something comes up. But I just see no reason why we can't do it in advance.
Well, yeah, I mean, if you need to go down to, I can, if there's signatures or whatever, but
Okay.
I'll stop up and we'll make sure we got that all covered before.
That's next week, right? 22nd?
Yeah, I think it is. I think it might be. I'll have to look at the email.
Was it on a Thursday, maybe?
I think it is.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, well, we'll look that email up and we'll see what, I don't know who you've been discussing with their attorney and,
You know, I haven't, I just
Okay.
talked with Chuck.
okay, well,
Yeah.
we'll coordinate that.
Cool. So, but I know Marissa, so.
Yeah.
All right, thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks, John. All right, next on our agenda is Mr. Todd Keeney, our Jackson County engineer. Good morning, Todd.
Or.
Vacation was good. Lincoln, yeah.
It was hard or what?
We danced too hard or
I wake up and
you
something
stubbed your
else.
toe on
starts
the
hitting
beach
me.
or what?
Too much golf, hard, too
No,
hard.
never too much. Well, actually, that could be too much, but no, I don't know. It's my foot hurts, I guess. I don't know. It'll get better. First on the item or agenda here for the engineering agenda is the line painting, pavement marking bid tabs here. Got 3 bids in. Low bid is from Camline, who typically does the county's work, does a good job. So just recommend that we award the contract for the quote to Camline to do the pet line painting for this
What was
year.
the difference in the quotes?
So
Can I have a
Vogel
copy of that?
Traffic,
Can I have a copy of that for
Sure.
the minutes?
Vogel Traffic Services was 144,788 and change. Camline was 130,496 and change. And Iowa Plains Signing was 243,823.
Little variation.
Yeah, so the unit prices, this is to supply the paint and apply the paint, supply and apply. So there's about a 50-cent increase over last year for this per station cost, which is a little under 10% increase, which isn't, I guess, in the grand scheme of things with everything else doesn't.
So we do this about the same amount every year, correct? Is it all the edge lines and not the cent? What do we do?
We do all the center line
All the center line.
and we do a third of the white edge line each year. So every third year, the white edge line gets repainted. And some years are a little bit bigger, like this year is a little bit bigger year because we have a little more white edge line in a third of the county we're doing.
So is the product getting any better? That we can purchase as it would last a little longer, or is that just, that's. Seems like as evolution goes, that things get a little better, last a little longer, or they should maybe. Well, maybe they don't last as long anymore.
Yeah.
I guess I don't understand your question, but
So I mean, the
You're saying
paint
that the
itself,
numbers all-
yeah, so this is gonna be, you can get higher quality paint, like the epoxy paint, the durable stuff. But you pay significantly more for it. This is what we do in Clinton County, the same thing. The only thing, like, when we do it, say you do a pavement job, you'll have the durable markings, because the markings get paid for our farm to market account. So you pay for the higher quality marking, and those typically last longer. If you notice on a newly paved job, we might not paint those lines for 5 or 6 years, because it is a higher quality product. But it's also not twice the cost either. We're paying for this out of local funds, right?
Mhm.
So when we do a paving job, that's paid out of FM account, which we don't have to technically take out of local funds.
So if we're doing this annually, all the center lines and a third of the outside lines. Versus we buy the higher quality stuff. And we could only do half as much. Maybe we could just do the center. But it lasts 5 years. Would there be a cost savings incurred if we just slowly transition over? To the higher quality stuff? Now, I have never seen, even Frank, with Public Works, he would talk about temporary marking paint, which lasted about a year on Platt Street. Then he thought, well, we're gonna use permanent paint, and I'm like, we should buy more of that because all the rest of the street markings in town don't last.
Yeah,
So it doesn't seem like there's a big difference between temporary and permanent paint, because it all needs to be replaced every year. That's why you see them out there about every year replacing stuff. So if one lasts 5 years.
yeah, the thing to consider too is you gotta realize, like, when you paint a new road, it's never been painted, right?
Yeah.
So that paint is bonding to fresh pavement. That bond is what makes part of what is the bigger reason why that paint lasts so much longer, because it bonds directly to the pavement. When we go out and paint lines on top of old lines, you're painting on top of some old paint that's there. So that has a tendency to, we don't go out and mill off the old markings before we paint new markings. So part of the reason why that new marking lasts longer is because it's getting put down on brand new pavement.
Okay.
So, to say that we're gonna take the higher quality paint and put it on an old marking that it's gonna last 5 years, probably not gonna happen the same way, you know what I mean?
Going on your recommendation.
So do we need, you need a motion to,
Yeah, I think that's
Camline,
Cameron.
I'll make a motion to approve Camline. Pavement marking quotes as stated, what is it, 130, 496? Is that the bid?
Yeah, 496 and 74 cents.
74 cents.
I will second that.
Have a motion and a second to approve the pavement marking bids from as presented. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, nay. Motion carried.
Okay, and then next on the agenda is to approve 2 entrances. The first one, on 230th Avenue Field Entrance. The site distance all checked out fine. No issue. Just recommend approval for that.
Also make that.
I'll second it.
A motion and a second to approve the entrance or field entrance permit for Travis Capacious. All those in favor say aye. Aye. That's the wrong one.
No, that's right.
All opposed, nay. Motion carried.
Okay, the next one, on 58th Street, for Grunwald. This one, the site distance from the approaching from the east didn't meet the 500 feet, but this road is posted at 35 miles an hour, so with the posting, it's fine for 410 feet of site distance, so. I recommend approval of this as well.
I'll make that motion.
I'll second.
A motion and a second to approve the residential entrance permit to Jim and Julie Grunwald and Van Buren County Township Section 16 as presented. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Opposed, nay. Motion carried.
Okay, this permit, that I'm holding here for, Ryder, is an extension to an existing driveway. And is requesting 70 foot for the width. So the policy we have doesn't limit the width, except the permit form that we have that are referenced in the policy references a max width of 50 feet. So question I have, how do you want to handle that? Do you want to approve this and then have us change the permits to allow to go up to 70 feet wide? Or what do you want to do?
So is it such a case, Todd, that each consideration or each application, so be it, would be looked at and considered by you or your department? So do you want to so call it a variance to policy? Or do you want to change the whole thing? I mean, evidently this is being done for egress and ingress to semis. Road's probably a little narrower and he needs a little bigger turn, but I can see that, of course, everything's getting. But, so can we do it on a case by case basis? Which you wanna call if it's a variance, if it's a.
Well, I would prefer not to issue variances every time somebody wants to go wider
Sure.
than 50 feet. I would prefer that we just change the permit to go to 70 foot max, and then when we review it, if somebody, if it's a 3-bedroom house that wants a 70 foot wide driveway, then we would say no. I mean, the 70
So
foot
it's
is
still
typically for
can we
industrial,
have-
commercial, or ag.
Can we categorize it, whether it be residential or
Well, this
commercial
could
or
still
ag?
be a residential driveway, but he has maybe semis coming in to load cattle.
Yeah, I think I would look at the intended use, like if the
Right.
driveway's like I said, if it's just if there's nothing there but a guy's house and he wants 70 foot wide. So you can make it like a circle drive, and we would say no, but if it's a guy's got a house and then a bed site that wants 70 feet and he shares the drive, then I would say that sounds fine.
Does that need to be spelled out in the ordinance, or the, you know, whether it's
Policy.
residential or versus, you know, because I think that.
So this is not a resolution or this is basically just policy, correct?
You've approved the policy by motion or resolution,
Okay,
so I would probably,
so it's,
if we amend the permits, which I think we probably need to change the max on the permit. Like you said, you either have to, I don't like doing variances to the policy. I would just soon have the policy be set, and then what happens has to fall within the scope or the parameters of the policy. So I would prefer to have the permits be edited. If you're gonna allow 70 foot, then let's make it allowed on the permits, and then we'll review the request for a 70 foot driveway on the merits of the request. Does this person need a 70 foot wide driveway?
so it's still reviewed on a case by case basis, and do we have to do that first and come back with the request, or can we do both? If you're gonna change the policy, permitting policy, do we have to change that first? And then do we come back and consider his request?
The policy does not reference a max width, so the policy doesn't need to change.
Okay,
I think you could probably just say, you can,
Could you just add like 50-foot max, 70-foot max for truck traffic? Or something,
I don't think you wanna even put them technicals in there.
I would just
I
say,
think you could open yourself up to problems if you say, okay, max driveway is 70 feet. Somebody wants to put in a house and says, I want a driveway entrance, I want it 70 feet, and you say no. Well, if the ordinance says you can have a 70 foot, I want one. What do you care whether I use it for?
that's,
So I think there needs to be some kind of criteria, residential entrance. Now you're gonna get a sticky one saying, well, if I say, well, I got ag, you know, tractors and such, but they need to have applicable buildings and that, you know, but I think there might need to be some criteria. If you're gonna limit just strictly residential, that limit needs to be in there.
how about, this isn't on the agenda, so I'll schedule it for an agenda item for discussion and possible action, and then we'll put some language together. I try and get it out to you ahead of time. That has some language in the policy that talks about the maximum width, and then change the permit to allow 70 foot. I'll just hold on to this extension request for permit until we get it addressed.
Yeah, I mean, we got campers and boats as long as semi trailers anymore, so it's like, if he's pulling into his residential with a 40-foot long camper, I guess it'd be the same.
Yeah, and it doesn't bother me so much now since we changed it, so we're not building driveways for free. So if
Right.
somebody wants to put in a wider driveway and they're paying for it, we don't maintain the culvert or anything,
So they pay for the tube also?
they pay for everything.
Alright,
You know,
which is true, as long as it meets drainage and
We size the tube and the length of the tube, depending on whether it's on a paved road or safety slopes and all that. After that, we check the
they're
site
gonna take
distance.
up their whole yard, I guess, as long as.
I mean, driveways become a snow trap is the
Right.
only thing, because you don't have a ditch to store snow in, but that's really the major. And the other thing too is if it's the driveway's coming down to the road and it's 70 foot wide, you have all that drainage coming onto the road over a wider area, which sometimes can be better because you don't have it channelized in one area. But
isn't there a requirement that the last 12 feet has to slope away from the road?
yeah. Yeah, you could drive around all over county.
Nice.
Because once it could be built that way, but it may not be
It
that
doesn't
way after
maintain that way.
5 months. So I'll put it back on the agenda, so. We'll talk about it next time, about revision, policy revision and permit revision.
Okay. So you don't need to have that table, you had an action item, you want it tabled or,
There's no action on that,
okay?
it was just the two we already talked about, so.
It says
This one you don't, the extensions you don't take action on, but I didn't want to approve an extension request it's basically outside of our, what we call as a 50-foot max on the permit.
Okay, it just said action on my.
Yeah. Agenda, it does say.
Oh, driveway extension was, oh, okay, yeah, I don't think,
Move the table.
yeah,
I'll second that.
Motion and second table the driveway extension with till further information can be obtained. All those in favor say aye. Aye, opposed nay, motion carried.
okay, then just two quick items, looking at the claims for the next claims period. We hauled $87,000 in rock in February. Which is, I'm sure, probably the most we've probably ever hauled, but 34,000 of that was either clean rock or special backfill, so the bigger stone. So almost half of that, or not quite half, was the bigger stone and clean rock. So just FYI, if people ask, or you know, what are we hauling for rock? Almost half of it was clean stone or special backfill, which would be the larger stone. So, and then the other thing is, April 5th, I'll be attending the Jackson County Farm Bureau meeting to talk about roads and policies and programs that we're gonna be doing for next year. So I guess I'm gonna reach out to the contact there again and see exactly what they want to talk about, but I'm guessing it's gonna be a similar presentation that we had here at the,
I'm sure, because that's what they talked to me about.
yeah, so anyway, just let you know. That's all I have.
Are you asking for backup?
One of you guys can come, right? Otherwise, more than one, you gotta schedule it as a
You
meeting.
know, we can all be there, we just can't talk
Oh,
about business.
I got you, okay, but, no, I don't hear anyone, hear me, you're all on, that's why. And then we're trying to set up interviews for the open motor grader position in Macokota, hopefully later this week or first part of next week, so. Or actually, Thursday, Friday of this week or Friday of the following week.
And is the other position out on the?
The engineering tech one,
Yeah.
or assistant to the engineer,
Yeah,
I believe. Becky, when I emailed her, I think she's gonna be gone for like a week or something, or gone.
I
I
thought
think
they
she's
told me
gonna-
like the 15th it was going out to
I think she's gonna put it out
sites.
when she comes back, I believe. But we have the posting, the job description, all that's done. She just needs to, I thought when she came back, she was gonna do it, but I don't know.
Okay. Appreciate it.
All right.
Yeah, thanks, Todd.
Great, thank you.
Okay, are there any visitors or citizens with us today that would like to approach the board? If not, next on our agenda is Miss Allison Hager. We want to say she is our 2023 American Honey Princess. How are you?
Good, how are you guys?
And congratulations to you.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you.
I love honey. I
Information.
love honey too.
Perfect, perfect. Yeah, I'll just give a quick little feel about myself real quick and some information that I think is important. So like I said, I'm the American Honey Princess for this year. So I've been beekeeping since I was 13 years old. I went through the Iowa Honey Producers Association scholarship program, so that's where I got my own hive and all the tools I needed, and so that was all paid for. So ever since then, I've just been an advocate for beekeeping and have been giving presentations and all that fun stuff ever since then. So that led me to running for the 2022 Iowa Honey Queen, and so after I was awarded that, I got to travel throughout the state last year, giving presentations to a lot of different school programs, summer programs. And so then this year, as a national spokesperson, I get to travel across the United States doing the same type of stuff as well. So going to a lot of schools, fairs, festivals, and doing a lot of media interviews as well. So to understand beekeeping a little bit better in Iowa, There are around 5,000 beekeepers. Most of them are hobby beekeepers, so you know they do it for fun for whatever reasons. We do have a handful of commercial beekeepers, so they do it as their full-time career. Either way, very important for our environment, obviously. So to kind of explain a little bit better about the economic value of honey. So our honeybees pollinate crops in Iowa, and that equivalents to about $92 million each year. And our honeybees produce about 1.2 million pounds of honey, which is about $8 million in value. So obviously our honeybees and our beekeepers are very essential to our environment. So we have a lot of different other pollinators as well. So pollinators help produce our crops by giving us about 1/3 of the food that we eat. But 80% of that pollination is actually done through our honeybees. So if we didn't have our honeybees, all those other pollinators would have to pick up that 80% of pollination, which is quite frankly almost impossible. So it's really important that we really strive to help all of our pollinators, but really focusing on our honeybees. So with that, I have just 3 of my personal favorite ways to help our honeybees. There's lots of other ways that you can help as well. But the one I always kind of suggest first is planting different types of native flowers and plants. A lot of people like their green grass. You know, they don't like any dandelions or anything in it. But kind of utilizing space that is maybe not being used for very much to plant, you know, flowers. Honeybees are like us, they need a variety in diet. They don't like to just have one type of floral source. So that's really important that we have different things for them to, you know, choose from. Another way that I always suggest to do is helping our local beekeepers. A lot of people just like to get our honey right from the store, don't really care where it's from as long as it's honey. But by doing that, you're sometimes you might be purchasing a more processed type of honey. There's a lot more health benefits from buying locally, as well as, you know, helping our local beekeepers. So really checking where exactly your honey is coming from, maybe doing a little bit of research. I think is really key to helping, you know, the beekeepers who are then helping our honeybees. And then the last key way that I'll kind of talk about real quick today is just being an advocate. So just explaining to others, you know, the importance of our honeybees and what pollination is. I know growing up, I didn't always quite understand what all that meant. I think kids nowadays are understanding it a lot more, which is really cool to see. But just explaining to the, you know, all generations, you know, honeybees aren't scary, you know, they're very helpful. You know, and that's a great way for them to understand that better. And then hopefully then in turn, they want to help in some way or another. So yeah, so if there's any questions, feel free to ask me.
How many times have you been stung?
I've only been stung once.
Really?
Yeah, that was just
That's
last
amazing.
year. It
She's
was
good at her job.
my fault.
Do you sell locally yourself the product that you?
I work with a local beekeeper right now since I'm out of school, and he does sell local honey. Yep, he's in the Miles area.
I guess if a local you would coconut, actually tomorrow.
Yeah.
I bounce back and forth.
Yeah, yep, I worked with Dave.
Oh, good.
Yeah, yeah. Yeah.
So with that, we'd like to have a proclamation to Allison for the 2023 American Honey Princess. And I will briefly read that if that's okay with you.
Yes.
Whereas the American Beekeeper Federation has selected Allison Hager of the city of Bellevue, Jackson County, Iowa, as the 2023 American Honey Princess. And whereas Allison previously served in the 2022 Iowa Honey Queen and was selected as the 2023 American Honey Princess based upon her skills in marketing, promoting, public speaking, and writing. And whereas the beekeeping industry touches the lives of every individual in the nations, with honeybees populating nearly 1/3 of the human diet, including a large majority of fruits, nuts, legumes, providing nearly 19 billion in direct value to the United States agriculture. And whereas United States honeybees produce over 300 varieties of honey, including Iowa honey such as clover, basswood, and wildflower. And whereas Allison has represented Iowa beekeepers, her family, friends, Jackson County with distinct honor. as evident by this award, and whereas Allison will travel and speak throughout the United States promoting the American beekeeping industry by giving school, legislative, and community presentations, television, radio, newspaper interviews, virtual platform presentations, and working at festivals, farmers markets, and fairs, including the Iowa State Fair. And whereas Jackson County is proud of Allison's accomplishments and achievements and her academic success in business management and entrepreneurship at the Iowa State University, her pursuits in beekeeping and her work with youth, and wishes her continued success in her future endeavors. Now therefore, we, the Jackson County Board of Supervisors, do hereby extend our congratulations and appreciation to Allison Hager on her accomplishments and representation of the Jackson County and the state of Iowa as a 2023 American Honey Princess in the county of Jackson County, Iowa. Congratulations.
Thank you guys very much.
Would you like a picture?
Of course.
You want to come right up here by the flag? I think that usually works pretty good.
Yeah. So it's not, I don't want
Yeah,
to
I-
Picture that way.
Come right over here in the middle.
All right.
You're out of the way.
It should just be.
There's anything here. 1, 2, 3, good shot. Let me get one. I should take more than that, but. Hopefully it's
You
good.
guys
are all professionals, so. Oh, maybe I won't.
Childproof.
Don't approve. There you go. That's great.
Yes, thank you
Yeah.
guys all so much.
Thank you for representing us.
Thank you.
Well, it sounds like you certainly will be busy, young lady, so.
I just got back from Texas yesterday, so
Oh, well, it's nice to travel though, huh?
it
They
is.
provide travel expenses and stuff.
Yep, yep. we'll
How
see
many miles do you
exactly.
expect to get on?
That's a
No.
good question. Yeah, I don't even wanna know. Yeah.
Scary, you turned the table.
Also, and still doing this?
Yeah, I'm at Iowa State. I'll graduate in May, so it might be a little bit easier, but. Yeah,
Well, good luck to you.
yes,
thank
all
you
so
again.
much. Yes, thank you.
All right, it's amazing to think that them bees do a lot of stuff.
Well, it's amazing to think she's from Jackson County too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, back to business here. Next on our agenda is Mr. Matt Speck, the ECIA Community and Economic Development Director. Good morning, Matt.
Good morning. Good morning.
Haven't seen you for a while. You must have all the signatures you need, huh?
Close to going to
Second time around.
Trying to get more. Not today's topic, right?
Yeah, right.
So today we're just gonna discuss, ECI has the RLF, revolving loan fund for the Brownfield program. When we initially applied for that, there was 39 coalition members, so every time we had a project, everybody had to sign off on it. But EPA kind of realized that's kind of cumbersome, so get it down to 4. So that's what we're here for today. We're modifying from 39 members down to 4. ECI will be the lead yet. And then Jackson, Cedar, and Clinton will be the other 3, just because they were kind of the other leads in the original application to get it down to that 4 number. So nothing else is really changing besides going from 39 to 4 for the grant. Like I said,
Okay.
kind of streamlining it. They said we had
So
to have it
who
done.
were the other 35, may I ask?
Cities within ECI's region.
Okay, so.
You know, I think Dubuque
basi-
County, Delaware County were also, but then you got into all the cities that wanted to be. And that's where it got kind of cumbersome.
Okay,
So Delaware County, all our cities, counties will still be eligible for everything. Like I said, it's just kind of, when we need signatures on stuff, we don't have to go and get 39. We only gotta get 4. So.
okay, and you're here to do that, I take it.
That's, yeah, so that memorandum that was sent out in the resolution. will
Yeah.
be Modifying it.
We don't have a resolution prepared. you need a Jackson County resolution.
Yeah, we sent one down, but
It's not prepared. I can go talk to Shelley if you want.
well, we can do it next week too.
I'm just saying, I mean, if you want, we'll have to give it a number and get it on resolution paper.
So, I mean, yeah, I mean, is there a? What kind of time frame are we talking about, Lisa?
I can go over and talk to Shelley right now and see how soon we can get it done.
Let's see if we can do that. There's no sense. You need to come back down.
No, I wouldn't, even if you guys do it next, I mean, if you don't have questions, it's a matter of just passing it.
Well, I don't know that we, huh?
This is it. It's probably-
Yeah, that would have been what we mailed out,
Yeah,
emailed out.
that in the booklet.
It should be in your book, yeah.
I have two other
It's
resolutions.
just saying it's not prepared on the resolution.
Right.
Oh,
You just
Give
can't
it a
say-
number and,
I think it's more the resolution numbers that we need.
right,
And like I said, I'm fine if it's.
Okay.
well. Is there two different items here?
Yeah, there's the resolution and then there's the memorandum of agreement.
So I take it we need the resolution first before we can have the memorandum of agreement. Luann,
Yes.
we had this resolution. Did Lisa or Shelley not receive that? Maybe
Well, I thought Shelley received it.
you wanna take it over there and see if this is what they need or? Just,
It was emailed to me, it was emailed to her, didn't have it. I will double check with her, but that probably takes a few minutes to get it, a number, and get it on the right paper.
yeah, that's fine.
When it's this week, we can talk about the memorandum of agreement.
Is there, basically the memorandum of agreement, well, go ahead and explain that.
That's just pretty much following the resolution that we're going down from the 39 to the 4, and then unless DCI didn't see your funding. Jackson County's as the other members to make up the board, so.
Okay,
So this will be resolution number 945.
9:45.
-03-14-2023. Shelley's putting in on resolution.
and this is the same one that we got in the email.
Yes, and, I'll make a motion that we approve the resolution. Reorganizing the ECIA Brownfield Coalition.
we'll second that.
And does that include the signature of the resolution?
Yeah.
I have a motion and a second to approve the resolution 945-03-14-2023 and have the chair sign as presented. All those in favor say aye. Aye, opposed nay. Motion carried.
Make a motion to approve the memorandum of agreement. Or memorandum of understanding.
I will second that.
I have a motion and a second to approve the Brownfield Coalition memorandum of agreement as presented. All those in favor say aye. Aye, opposed nay. Motion carried.
Thank
I
you.
will sign that as soon as I see it.
That works. Can I just give a quick update to in the lead paint program?
Yeah,
So we were awarded that, and we did get release of funds in January. So we're just kind of getting started, but it's actually taking off very well. Currently in Jackson County, we have 2 applications from Bellevue, one from Preston, one from Sebula, and one from Springbrook. So we've got 5 applications already. Like I said, we just really kicked it off in January. We hope to do about 6 per county per year. But again, we appreciate the county being willing to help us with that local match. That's gonna help us quite a bit. I don't think we will have any done by June 30th. You know, maybe 1 or 2 of these, but it is a process to get them inspected, get the contractors there, get the work done, so. But like I said, we appreciate you guys willing to help us in kind of what I'm asking, do you guys want like quarterly updates, every 6-month updates? You know, it can just be an email like, hey, here's where we're at. type
I
thing.
think that would be good.
Okay.
Yeah, just, I mean, whatever's normal that you punch out to each entity, yeah, just include this on the email and is Springbrook new to this?
Well, it's all of Jackson County, so yeah, Springbrook, yeah.
I know we talked about one time, they were not signed up for the, what program was that? I had talked to their city administrator and they were gonna get signed up for it. I know there was. Been here 3 or 4 months ago when they weren't included in part of. It was like some of the rehab work, like,
We have an older adult grant and a healthy homes grant as well.
like the, Casa Blanca, Pancho, one that they. Like the rehab, owner rehab,
Is it housing trust fund?
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah,
That
and
would
they
be,
weren't signed up for that, so I know I had talked to their city administrator, and maybe. They were like to get a hold of,
Carl probably.
Yeah,
Right, yeah,
so, yeah, that's what I was trying to think of. Okay,
but yeah, we can kind of bend it down just to kind of know where numbers are and stuff, and then on the match, do we work with Lisa or, okay,
Just that.
it was 2,000 per unit completed up to 12, up to 12,000,
yeah,
so.
that's been,
We need to put that in the budget.
we, approved that a while ago, but we probably missed.
I don't think there's any money in the budget.
Yeah,
Either, you're talking about nothing will be paid until after July 1st of 23.
Cool. Maybe one or something that year.
so we did approve it for the current year budget,
Hopefully need-
and nothing was expended out of that, is that what you're
No.
doing now?
Cause I think we came like last summer late and talked about it.
Yeah, I can remember.
August,
I don't remember when it
yeah.
was.
But it's still been too late for,
Yeah,
Yeah.
23, so
yeah,
if you're saying up to 20,000,
up to 12,000, correct.
we just need to put some money in the budget then.
So I guess going forward, maybe put that on your notepad too, that maybe we can catch us before we start doing budget
Right,
next year.
reminder in
Yeah,
January.
yeah,
December.
yeah, yeah,
December.
yeah. Maybe come with the, maybe you come with the request then, you know what I mean?
Well, that would be a
Yeah.
good time to at least do an annual presentation where you come down and talk about how it's progressing, the terms left on the agreement, or how long the program's gonna run. And, what you're looking for,
Or if the program's still running,
right?
you know,
So it's a 4-year deal, and like I said, we're happy, it seems like our more rural counties, have shown good interest, and I think that's just because the lack of ability out in those rural areas, so we're really, like I said, happy with that, so.
so we have almost 1 year done with the 4-year project.
Well, we got kicked off in January, so we're about
Oh,
3 months
so
in.
we're only in, just, okay.
Is there a max you'll take per year? Like, is it 6 per county per year?
That's the way we've kind of split it up.
I know that's the way you kind of thought it would go, but what if you get 10 applications? Are you only gonna take 6, or are you gonna?
We will hopefully be able to kind of, if it's close to the next year, you know,
Yeah,
because it's really
feather
not,
them out, so to speak.
yeah, feather them out to make it work. We don't really wanna, once you start getting momentum, you don't stop it type,
Right.
you know, so we're gonna,
Yeah,
there's some things we probably have to figure out.
If it looks like you're running into trouble as we allocate up to $12,000, you know, cause that's what you were designing. I think it would be smart, if it looks like you're getting ahead of steam and you're running, come back, let us know,
Okay,
so.
yep, and we can do that, but yeah, we're kind of, like I said, this is the first time we've done this with all 5 counties, and so we're still learning.
it's one of them things that kind of people overlook, I should say, you know, I mean, you paint over it, you do whatever, but you don't realize that there's help available for some of this, you know.
Correct.
And it's dangerous. You know,
Yeah. So, but no, well, like I said, yeah, we can come down in December. Make sure we get that request in, and then, probably like give you some quarterly updates, and yeah, if we got, you know, we kind of run into issues or something as we go, we'll be in contact.
perfect.
Sounds good.
All right, thank
Thanks,
you.
Matt.
Have a good one.
Yep, do you need that a copy before you go, or? No?
The man can email it to me, that's fine.
That's
Okay.
fine.
No. Yep.
Thank you.
Have a good one.
Very safe. All right, Julie, patiently waiting. We have Julie Fern, our drug-free committee's project coordinator.
Back.
Good morning. Forget to do something?
I not forget, so when we uploaded one of the forms you signed last time, I clicked that we were not a 501c3. It clicked out and said, hey, we need to do this form. So I brought you, it's a memorandum of agreement between the coalition and the county. It lists what each will do. The county serves as really the fiscal agent for the grant, maintains the budget. Shelley Hoying, the auditor's office, has fulfilled that role so nicely for the last 4.5 years. And then the county or the coalition does kind of where the rubber meets the road work, goes out and actually does the work of the grant. It's similar to what we had 5 years ago. The question that pops up is that Jackson County will be responsible for liability coverage for the Jackson County premises and workers' comp for the employees. The only employees in the grant is Karen Wells. ASAC is a contractor, so I'm not an employee of the grant or of the county. So the only employee employed under the grant is Karen at the sheriff's office. And you're already providing her workman's comp and all those good things as course of her regular duties. Just so, yeah, ASAC is just a contract within the grant. So you have no liability for me as an employee. I believe you saw this. If you have any questions, I'm happy to answer them.
So we'll need action on that.
I'll make a motion for us to go ahead with the memorandum of understanding for the Jackson County Prevention Coalition and for the chair to sign.
I'll second.
Have a motion and a second to approve the memorandum of understanding and the signature from the chair as presented. All those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye, opposed, nay. Motion carries. Just the two, Julie.
Just the two, yeah. And Scott Warren signed as the president of the coalition. Thank you, sir.
Okay,
Have a
thank
good
you.
day.
Yep,
You too.
okay, Lisa or Luann, would you like to go, or how do you want to proceed?
I would yield to Luann.
Okay. Luann, are you available?
Yes.
We'll just keep it rolling right along here.
Good morning.
Morning.
Calendar is all I have for this week. 4 o'clock this afternoon is the Coconut River Watershed Management Authority Executive Meeting by Zoom for Don. Tomorrow, Wednesday, March 15th at 9 AM is also Don's turn on KMAQ Just Talk. In addition to the calendar that I don't have on here is the Early Childhood Iowa Preschool Visit to Little Shepherd School. Trying to know exactly when that is, 9:30 maybe, or 9 o'clock. It's on my email. It's 9:30.
Where's that at?
Little Shepherd. It's up at the, it's a,
Church. It's in code.
in Macokota, yes. At 6:30, tomorrow night is the Municipal League in Lamont for Mike. Thursday, March 16th at 6 PM is Limestone Bluffs RC&D meeting by Zoom for Don. Friday, March 17th at 10 AM is 7th Judicial District Department of Correction in Davenport for NIN. And 11 o'clock AM is the Isaacs Weekly Legislative Update by Zoom for Mike. Monday, March 20th at 1 PM is Waste Authority meeting for Mike. At 3 PM is the Mental Health and Disability Services Governing Board meeting in Davenport for NIN. 6 PM is the Zoning Commission meeting in the community room or downstairs or by Zoom for any of you. And at 7 o'clock on Monday is Together We Build for also for any of you. Our next regular meeting will be Tuesday, March 21st at 9 AM. We are going to have a lot of things going on at that meeting, so you can see there's a lot of stuff we have to cover. 5 PM that evening is Conservation Board meeting in Hurstville for any of you. At 6 o'clock is the Jackson County Economic Alliance meeting for Don. And at 7 o'clock that night is Board of Health meeting for NIN. So, any other questions? Time of day, you think it's at 6?
I thought, I had it in my calendar for tonight.
I think they did move it. I will double check that when I go back to my desk. Right, that's all I had for you.
Okay, thank you. Did anyone hear from Marty today? Is he still intending to appear? We'll take a short recess at this time.
Stuff that was sitting in the draft folder that I thought was mailed.
About time.
I know, right? It's been sitting there since last week and see how often I go into draft folder.
Are we live? All right, thank you. We will reconvene at this time. And we are here with Lori Rowling, our Jackson County zoning administrator. Good morning.
Hey guys, good morning. So, basically, back in our February zoning commission meeting, the commissioners approved, well, recommending the approval of the Sebring Sunset Ridge subdivision. And I should have probably did this sooner, but according to our zoning ordinance, planning ordinance, we were good. So we have 45 days to present it to you. To put up here. So just basically, we're just looking to see if you also would approve this subdivision. Preliminary subdivision plat for Sebring Sunset Ridge. It started it's still 59 acres, but they had more lots originally platted and they have kind of scaled it to where the lots are now bigger. And so there's not as many plats. We did have, I think, 6 neighbors there that were there for support and just to ask questions. So there was no one that was adamantly opposed to the subdivision, just basically wanted information about what it might mean to them. Could they still farm their ground? Can they still put up a silo? Can they still, what can't they do? And basically, the neighbors can still do anything they choose to do with their land.
Is this something, is this within a certain distance of the city that they have to approve also? Is that
They
correct?
already did.
Okay.
Yeah, that was part of the preliminary process, the checks and balances. they
And
had.
you're looking for us to approve the preliminary plat.
Yes,
Well, yeah, the first copy you gave us was much more clear than this one,
Was
but
it?
yeah,
Oh.
I'm assuming there's like 11 lots, is that correct?
actually, yes, there's 11 lots, but 10 first subdivision lots.
Okay.
And
Any questions or concern?
Today coming back again to ask. They were approved this.
not until. What are you asking me?
So the question is, isn't there traditionally on a subdivision a resolution prepared? So are you coming back to get a resolution?
I know the email that I had sent, that was part of it, to make a,
So this is preliminary, do you
It's-
need that?
So that's the question.
it does need a resolution.
When will it be final?
This is just the preliminary resolution, not the final resolution. Because there would be 2, is my understanding. The one resolution that they would approve that the concept of the subdivision. Oh,
No, but is there a resolution for the
That's-
preliminary or there is a resolution to approve?
That's what I'm asking. So is it a two resolution step?
yes,
So you're asking for a resolution
Yes.
today?
got it. It has to be. Okay. Hey, there's a learning curve here and I'm doing it. So we'll be in next week again with our hearings.
I didn't know.
Okay, I apologize. That's on me. We'll be back next week with our hearings.
So we're still in the parameters of the time frame that we need, or
Yeah, we're
is
still
this
good.
again something, we'll be here for another hour apparently, so is this something that we can do a resolution?
I don't think we can put it together that fast.
So is the resolution prepared?
No,
No.
I didn't
Oh,
even think
okay.
about
Well, so
that
that's,
having to happen. I was like, okay, we get their permission to do a resolution. And no, it has to,
that was my question is, do you need a resolution for the preliminary plat and then another resolution for the final?
yeah, which won't be till after May.
Okay, but you're sure you need to, you don't need,
I'm
okay.
confident.
I thought the preliminary was just to agree to it, and then the resolution would say yes.
So maybe the other question is, what would you like the board to do today? Since we do not, maybe if it doesn't have to be by resolution, are you asking for them to, by motion, to approve the preliminary plan?
Yes,
That would be the way to go about it. That way, if there needs to be, then you can come back and then. If there doesn't, if we can do it by motion and then do the final as a resolution, would
yes.
certainly.
And if we have to have that resolution, I'll be back next week anyway with
Sure.
some other business. So,
I
thanks,
would
Lisa.
make that motion then to go ahead and approve this preliminary plat of the land.
I'll second.
I have a motion and a second to approve the preliminary plat for proposed Sunset Ridge subdivision as presented. All those in favor say aye. Aye. Opposed, nay. Motion carried.
Thank you.
Thank you. Just let Luann or Lisa both know with follow-ups.
Yeah, yeah. And I guess I'm like, okay, yeah, they'll say we can do a resolution and then we do the resolution. No, you get them to go sleep. Okay.
Thank you.
Yeah, I know, right?
All right, Lisa.
Yes, we have no toy authority. Okay, be treated just like here.
I just want to make sure before
I'm glad.
Did you
did.
touch base with Marty yet?
Anyway, it's there.
Okay, all right, thank you.
Let's just see if he's coming or not. Doesn't matter to me really.
Did you call?
Call and left a message.
Okay, so I will anticipate them stopping there. Good with it.
Okay,
Okay,
thank you.
all right.
All right, so are we ready to canvass?
I am if you are.
We're ready.
So obviously, last Tuesday, polls opened at 7 a.m., closed at 8 p.m. We had 2 school districts within Jackson County that voted, Valley Community School District and the Midland School District were the 2 districts that voted for bonds. Public measure LH for the Valley Community School District was to issue general obligation bonds in an amount not to exceed 13.1 million. Public measure MD was for the Midland Community School District, and that was to issue general obligation bonds in an amount not to exceed 9.2 million. And they also had candidates on the Midland ballot, which was Scott Dahl and Taryn Christ. And they were to fill a vacancy for 2 director-at-large positions. Valley Community School District overall, between absentee voting and voting at the polls, had 1,736 voters. And of that, 1,142 were yes and 594 were no. Public measure LH was for the Valley Community School District. Needs a 60% pass before it is considered passed. And I never declare on election night when it comes to bonds. I never declare if it's 60% or not. That's because we had a situation happen a couple of years ago, and it is now our common practice that we do not announce until today at the canvas that this bond that was voted on last week did pass. I think overall, it was 100 votes was the difference between passing and failing. And because Midland Community School District is part of several counties, Jackson County had 192 voters for that. Of that, 35 chose to vote between absentee and voting at the polls on election day. And of that, 31 were yes and 4 were no. And Scott Dahl received 28 votes and Taryn Christ received 25 votes with 1 write-in. So what happens then is that because Midland School District is within several within several counties here, we have what we call a 2-tier canvas. We canvas here in Jackson County today. We send all of the results that you sign, the abstracts and such that you sign today. We forward them on to Jones County, which is the control county for the Midland School District. And what happens then is they have another canvas next week to make the Midland vote finalized. Because Bellevue Community School District is wholly within Jackson County, we do not have to share with any other county as far as those results. So effective today, after your canvas and signing of all of the abstracts and such, this Bellevue vote then would be considered finalized with over a 60% passage. So today then, all I need to do from you is, and I can always talk about, what happens on election day as far as having a zeros report come out at the end of the, starting in the morning and what happens at the end of the night. Nothing really changes. This is just a normal bond election, which is the same as if the general election or the primary, we do things the same. I did go over, I was the one that picked up all of the supplies last week, so we didn't really have any problems that I'm aware of. Yeah, see, yeah, it went really well. I know that the gals down at the fairgrounds sat there all day for 35 voters, but it doesn't matter if only one voter showed up. It doesn't matter. We are there all day. Because you can always have someone that moved into the district that would be considered a same-day voter registration, so we follow all of the same rules. So, I am more than happy to share all of my tapes and totals and everything with you. But in the end, at the end of the meeting here, I will need some signatures. So I do need a motion to authorize the board as canvassers to certify and authorize board signature on the true, correct abstracts of votes cast in Jackson County on the March 7th, 2023 special election, as shown by the official canvass, and authorize Auditor Smith to forward the abstracts as presented.
I will make that motion.
I'll second it.
I have a motion and a second to approve the presentation as presented. All those in favor, say aye. Opposed, nay.
And thank you.
Motion carried, and I think that was a good turnout.
It was a good turnout. That was, I think overall, they had 48% turnout in Bellevue. So there was 3,554 voters, and of that 1736 voted. So I think that was a good vote, very comparable to the last.
Did they vote in Bellevue?
They voted, it was a decision, it was a discussion between myself and Superintendent Tom Meyer. Originally, I thought that it would be best that we would have a voting precinct in Lamont and in Springbrook. He really wanted all of the voters to go to one spot. And he assured me that he would make sure that all of the voters knew that. I believe that they sent out quite a few flyers. So we did, we had everyone go to the Bellevue Community Center to vote, so.
I just wonder with the Midland, they're going about a 30%.
Well, 18% of Jackson County, of the Midland voters.
I didn't know having them come all the way to the fairgrounds.
So there was a
Trying to
discussion
identify
also
the
with that.
spot.
Yeah, and you know what? I mean, there was a discussion with that. I went out Monday afternoon and I put signs up. I went to Baldwin, I went to Otter Creek, Lamont, and Springbrook. That's what I did Monday afternoon, to put signs up to make sure that everybody knew where they had to vote. The problem is, and this was, really thought about, is if we put people back in their home, what I call their home precincts. And then the next election, you come to the fairgrounds, and then the next election you go here. So for the Midland School District, their home precinct now is kinda, the fairgrounds. So we tried to make it easy, thought we made it less confusing. Like I said, I put signs out. I went back out Monday night, I put them out. I went back out Tuesday evening, picked everything back up, got everything cleaned up. I don't know, 35 voters, actually, I thought was pretty good. Because when I got down there mid-morning after the board meeting last week, they had two. They had two voters, and one was an election official. So I was kind of wondering what our turnout was gonna be, but I actually considered 35 out of 192 a pretty good vote turnout. Yeah, and I'm not really sure what happened in Jones County, as far as turnout.
Yeah, I know special elections are one-off kind of things.
Yeah. They are, they're tough.
Well, when you're talking about a minute section, basically, I'm in a small section of the county, and yeah, it's hard to.
It is, yeah.
Kind of.
Yeah.
Well, I appreciate everything you and your staff did there, of course, and
Yeah.
make that run as smooth as possible for everyone. I know you're always gonna get a few complaints probably, but we do the best we can. I know you do the best you can,
And always gonna make everybody happy.
always looking for suggestions if somebody has something. So
That's right, yep,
appreciate that.
you're welcome, thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Do you wanna proceed or do you wanna?
If Marty's here, I'm.
Yeah,
okay.
I will do that and come back. Marty, would you be available?
I suppose if I have to.
Morning.
All right.
Things we're doing, trying to do. I did finally get the 2 rooms painted down there. I thought it turned out pretty good. The room to the south, back in the day, it had a register or a unit like that. We put new ones in, they're smaller, so the carpet isn't around there. I saved the carpet when they cut it, so I got a piece out. And when the carpet guy comes, I'm gonna ask him if he could cut that and install that around there to make it look finished up.
Okay.
I had a request from, or a work request from Renee Bear, the adult probation officer, wondered if we could insulate the wall between the two offices there. I think I mentioned it the last time I was in here. Since then, if we drill holes in each stud, you know, in between the studs at the top and blow the cellulose insulation in there, we could get it done for like $225. And I guess if we can get an okay on that, a nay or a yay, that way we do it or don't.
Is this because of sound they want it?
Yes, she said it's fairly noisy between the wall, and right now it's just a 2x4 wall with 1/2-inch sheetrock on each side of it. She says it does get fairly noisy in there, so.
So, I mean, to me, that's minimal to, if there's, somebody that needs.
It's something I think we can do
Yeah.
in-house.
Yeah.
Yeah. My plan is to either cut it, hold it, and then put a board up there, or Mike mentioned maybe cutting round holes and then just putting plugs back in there. And either one I think would work good. You know, so.
Yeah, for her purposes too, I mean, she has her clientele that's sometimes, of course, need privacy.
Yeah.
Yeah, but if it helps somewhat, I think it's a minimal expense.
Yeah, when you're doing
Is something
something,
to motion on that, or is that within?
I just need a yes or a no.
I vote yes.
I vote yes.
Okay,
My only thing is make it look decent.
sure.
No, we can always trim it if we don't think the plug will.
Other things, the treasurer has a vault, treasurer's office has a vault down in the basement. They made a request to move, there's a bunch of filing cabinets down in there, to move them out, so we did that, so they could get at the recyclables. And then while we're doing that, they wondered if we could cut, there were some shelvings up against the wall, permanent shelving. If we could cut the bottom of them off, and so we could put the cabinets back in there. It took about a day and a half, but we did do that. That way the filing cabinets aren't sitting in the middle of the vault. Made it a lot cleaner, more organized. Worked out pretty good. Just had to buy a few 1x4s. Other than that, it was just, I cut the board off and used it over here to reuse it. Took care of that. They have little shelves over here to hold the license plates. I made them for them years ago, but they're this, so I just put like a 1x, or not even 1x, but some little solid board on the back, made it tight, did that. Push snow, of course, cleaned up my equipment. Up at the care facility, the back driveway, the driveway I call to the north. Jared asked if we could put a load of gravel there. With the help of the next door, they dropped a load of gravel off for us. I went up the next day and took the tractor and spread it out a little bit, and then put in another request for another load because it really needs a second load. There was a very big water hole at the end of the driveway, and then where the gravel quit in the blacktop, there was a big there, so they're gonna drop us off another load. They said they'd call me, that way I could go up and spread it out a little better with the tractor.
With that in mind here, Marty, I know we had talked about this briefly, and so the room where the file cabinets all were. Is it feasible to put a overhead door on the outside of that so we have access to that room?
I would think it's feasible, just, I've never looked at it, but I couldn't see why you could not.
To me, it would be just a studded wall, so I would think it would make
I think it's a pole shed wall, you know,
Yeah,
poles with
right.
girts on it, yeah.
so it would just
But
be-
I think a garage door could be put in there, yes, very
Do
easily.
you think that would be feasible for us that we could use that room for storage and for your, some of your equipment or.
You can never have enough storage.
Well, I get it, and that's, I think
That's
that room's
my-
vacant right now since.
The cabinets are
is there
still in
some
there,
more
aren't they? The filing cabinet.
Yeah, I was supposed to get rid of some and he requested one day when, he was gonna be in town or something. I said, I don't even have a key to that building, so I said, you're gonna have to make it a day that we can get somebody up here.
Who is that?
There's a gentleman that stopped in and requested to purchase some of them.
Oh,
and
okay,
We made an agreement to do that and.
okay,
So I will touch base with him at some point.
okay.
But when you're up there sometime, take a look at that and see what you think, if that's a viable.
I will.
Yeah.
When they drop the gravel off here, I will do that. I did order the uni bin for that room up there.
But that was in with the bid though, correct?
Yes, yes.
But why did you order it, not the contractor?
Well, I had give him the okay
Okay.
to order it. And I did touch base with him, make sure it got done. I didn't order it, no. But he said again, that it could be 14 weeks before we get it.
Understandable, they were both that way.
Yep, yep. The senior citizen building, I did have a work request. I didn't get it. I think Lisa got it, or you, the board got it, to dismantle the alarm on the doors. Back in the day, they used to, I don't wanna say babysit, is that the word I wanna use? So if somebody went out, the door, the alarm would go off. And she wanted it taken off. Well, I went down and looked at it. And it's gonna have to have the door company do it because it is wired into the door. And I don't think I want to attempt to unwire it because I'm afraid I would maybe mess up the door over there.
Do we know, is it still functional?
Yes, it is. I do believe.
Why would we tear it out?
Talking to Sally Davies, she said that she's not sure if they know where the alarm might be functional in the doorway, but there's like trackers they put on people, so when they walk through it with alarm. She's not sure anybody knows where those are.
Well, I had to unhook the one because when I took the cover off of it, the piece where all the wiring was to see how it come apart, it set it off and then I couldn't get it to shut off. So I had to unplug it. Okay, just so you know. And there's one on the door to the east and there's two of them on the door to the south, which would be the front doors.
So are they cumbersome or are they, no, we could just paint around them and leave them and.
Well, there's a little keypad and then there's a long, did I send you a picture of that?
I don't think so.
Oh, I thought I sent you a picture of it.
There's a conduit cover thing on them.
Yeah, yeah, it's a strip about this long, that wide, and then there's a little keypad here and that. On one door, and then the other door has one on each side because it's a double door.
Did they ever decide if they were going to paint or what was?
The last I heard, they were taking bids. That's what that paper
Well,
said. didn't it?
we had received a bid, which we have determined since with our county attorney that the lease states that the cosmetic portion of that building is their responsibility. So we are responsible for the structure integrity. So and we have sent them a letter and I don't believe we've heard back.
No,
I thought it said on that thing that that whatever company they are taking bids to get it painted.
We did get bids
They took bids, they
Okay.
presented them to us.
Oh, okay,
and
Alright.
we've since said that's not our
your baby.
dime.
I guess to me, I would, if them alarms are actually working. Maybe somebody in the future would wanna use them,
Correct.
they would.
And I would think they can
I would
replace
agree.
maybe with.
They're there.
They're already put in, they're established, they're not causing
setting
an
off or
issue.
anything, I
Yeah.
don't. Get what
Right.
I mean, I could see somebody asking the question, do I gotta push a code before I go out, but big deal.
Cause if you take it off, then there's 3 holes in the wall that you're gonna have to fix also, because it
Well,
goes in and comes out, or 2 holes, I guess.
Okay,
goes
just
and I'll
bypass
find
that
the keypad.
request for now.
yeah, just table that for now. so
Okay,
Don't take it off.
okay. the jail site, I gotta go down there every couple days and dump the water out of the container and keep an eye on the filter. With the help of the auditor's office, we got online and bought cheaper filters. They were like $43 a piece, and I was changing them about every 2 weeks because the contractors were putting their equipment in there and it was muddy and so we bought cheaper filters. They're a quality filter. And then I went to Gassers and bought like an inch filter and just taped it over the outside because there's no ductwork on it yet. So when that starts to get dirty, then I change that. That way we're dirtying a $3 filter versus a $23 filter. You know, until they get the ductwork on there and the equipment on there, I think it will make a big difference.
That still allow for enough airflow then with the double filter on,
Yeah, I would say, I bought just the,
pleated.
not the real thick ones, just the, I don't know what you wanna call it, looks like cotton candy, that kind of a filter, whatever you wanna call it. Yeah. And it is filling up with parts in there, so they must be getting close to all the doors.
Any walls in there yet?
No, no, the lumber board is.
We gotta build it from the inside out.
Let's see. The county attorney office, John moved his office to the west. He wanted to take the shelf with him, so Mike took the old shelf down and put it in his. I did get a contractor to come and look at what John wanted, and he said it might take a little bit, but he will come back with an estimate of what it might cost to put that window in that we talked about. Which I thought would be good. I had to put a new blower fan in my van. I don't know if I told you that before or not, but it went out. So I did get one from the local auto dealer and put one in. And another thing, I'm not for sure if I told you, but the dump truck, the engine light come on again. I had to take it out to Brad Deary Ford out here. It was under warranty. The DEF tank heater went out of it, whatever that is, but it just made it run doggy. I got it back. It runs super good. I think it runs better now than it did when I got it new. I could be wrong, but it made a big difference on it. And like I said, it was under warranty to us, no cost at all. And that's about it. I got it. Any questions? from
So
you?
we don't have any cost estimates yet for what the attorney.
No.
So,
And we have two people, I think, gonna give I got one and then, they got,
are you
company.
including a solenoid type thing to open, unlock that door?
no, I am just talking, cause I think the solenoid thing's gonna have to come from you, isn't it?
Yeah.
I would think.
Is that just?
And will it hook to our system in here, or will it be a separate thing?
Well, we can have it hooked to our system. Otherwise, according to John, he had one that was separate down in Clinton County. That was on a particular system.
Well, we could probably do that then too.
I guess it'd be fairly simple just to have a button for someone like just to unlock that door if somebody wants to come in. I don't think we have to tie it to the whole system, but as you may be.
Is it gonna take the key fob for them to get in, or are they just gonna,
No,
you're just looking for a button to push, so?
I think they're looking just for a button to push, so when they're in there and somebody wants it.
Is it gonna be like your office where you gotta?
From what I understand in Clinton County, they have a key to get in for the first time of the day, and then they have a button to open the door
This is
for
solenoid.
anybody else.
So, as you may be aware or unaware, there'll be a new personnel in there April 3rd, did he say?
Yeah.
We'll have an
I
assistant.
just read on the thing, the agenda where he brought her in to
We'll have an assistant.
introduce
I
you.
don't know if that makes any difference, because his office will be back where.
Yeah.
Sarah used to be anyway, so.
Her office will, cause he's where it's
an assistant.
His assistant,
Yeah.
The man.
Oh, I'm sorry, I thought somebody told me it was a woman. I'm sorry.
Well, unless her,
I
name is-
apologize.
unless her name is John.
Well,
we get the mail.
well,
I'm assuming too.
okay, and I'm not gonna comment. Okay? So, that's all I got.
Thanks, Marty.
Okay,
There will be an assistant back there in April.
okay.
Thanks, Mark.
Everybody wish you happy anniversary.
All right. We are right on schedule, so we'll be joined by Becky Chapin, our Human Resource Administrator. Good morning.
Good morning.
I thought he was gonna start to say, don't print that.
Okay, I am here today because, as you may recall, our part-time sheriff's deputy Corey Kevin resigned back in February. Since then, the sheriff has appointed Brandon Coyne as a part-time deputy to fill that vacancy. Although the board does not approve or consider the appointments, they do have to approve the certificates of appointments prior to the elective office issuing them to their employees. So I am here today just to have asked for a motion to approve a probationary certificate of appointment for Brandon Coyne as a deputy sheriff through November 11th, 2023, including authorizing the county auditor to issue biweekly paychecks at an hourly rate of $30.14 per hour, which is the rate set by the board for the schedule for when deputies are hired in it.
So, all we do is approve the certificate of appointment.
Yep.
Do we know any history or?
So this.
Is that privy to us or no?
Yeah, he is actually, so this is a civil service position, so these individuals that are employed come from a list that is established by the Civil Service Commission, of which the county attorney and the board of supervisors make an appointment to represent the county for that position. They hold testing, receive applications, then they develop a list, which is the only list of people that the sheriff's department can appoint employee from. This time they established a list, they sought certified candidates. Sometimes they do go through promotional testing, like the city has done before, where there's post testing and physical agility testing. They did not do that this time, so he's got an active list of people that he's working off of. Brandon was the one selected for this part-time position. He has been in law enforcement. He currently still works for the city of Bellevue, I believe. He is just joining us on a part-time basis to fill in. Nights, weekend, short shifts, those kind of things.
Thank you.
Yep.
I'll move to approve.
I will second that.
I have a motion and a second to approve the certification of appointment as presented to Brandon Coyne. All those in favor, say aye. Aye. Opposed, nay. Motion carried.
That's all I have.
That's it.
That's it.
Thank you very much.
You're welcome.
Have a good day.
Yep.
Okay. Back to Lisa.
So this morning I need to have you approve the minutes of the March 7th, 2023 board proceeding as written by Auditor Smith and authorized publication in the official newspapers.
I will make that motion.
Second.
Motion and second to approve the minutes of the March 7th, 2023 board proceeding as presented. All those in favor say aye. Aye, opposed, nay. Motion carried.
I need a motion to approve and authorize the auditor's office to issue warrants and the publication of the claims listing in the amount of $345,623.87.
Motion approved.
Second that.
Motion and a second to approve the claims of $345,623,087 as presented, with a note, there was a large amount of gravel.
Yep.
An aggregate included in the claim, so it was much needed. And so we've got some going on anyway, so all in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye, opposed, nay. Motion carried.
Motion needed to accept and place on file the Veterans Affairs Commission meeting minutes for the February 8th, 2023 meeting.
Make that motion.
Second.
I have a motion and second to approve the Veterans Affairs Commission meeting minutes for February 8th meeting 2023. All in favor, say aye. Aye, opposed, nay. Motion carried.
Motion needed to, go ahead.
On that, is there anything about how they're proceeding, hiring a new director? Does that go through?
That goes with human resources,
Does that go
correct?
through Becky, or is that, I didn't know if they did it on their own, so.
I believe they go through Becky. I think she assists them in their search.
I believe, and correct me if I'm wrong, Lisa, I think all of our employees and background checks now go through human resources. Is that correct? We
That is-
approved that.
That is correct. Yep. I need a motion to approve the renewal of a special Class C retail alcohol license with outdoor service to Codfish Hollow Barnstormers LLC at 5013 288th Avenue, Wacokota, effective March 13th, 2023 through March 12th, 2024.
So move.
Second.
Motion and second to approve the special class C liquor alcohol license with outdoor service to Codfish Hollow Barn Stormers LLC as presented with a special note. There's some really good entertainment that I read about coming, so be aware of what's coming this summer, so. All in favor, say aye. Aye, opposed, nay. Motion carried.
Motion needed to approve the renewal of a Class C retail alcohol license with outdoor service to Macokota Country Club at 17961 33rd Street, Macokota, effective March 6, 2023 through March 5th, 2024.
I'll make that motion.
Second.
Motion and second to approve the Class C retail alcohol license with outdoor service to Macokota Country Club as presented. All those in favor say aye. Aye, opposed, nay. Motion carried.
Motion needed to approve resolution number 943-03-14-2023, certifying delinquent Leisure Lake sewer assessments to the county treasurer for property tax collection in the amount of $2,289. Shelley can explain to you what this means.
Yeah, well, if you want to explain that, would you please, Shelley? So
Um,
am I correct in saying that number is a little less than it normally is?
it has been, yes.
Yes, okay.
I get notification from E ECIA Iris, about delinquent accounts and after, I think it's 60 days. If they're delinquent, then Iris sends us an email of the delinquent accounts and the amounts. Then I have to send out letters to those people. They have 30 days to send, payment to us, which we forward to ECIA. And if that's not paid by that time, then that's what goes on the resolution. It did start out, over 7,000,
Correct.
so this time.
So then the process, it would be allocated to their taxes and it could go into sheriff's sale, correct?
Yes, yes.
So, I mean, several years ago, we had some issues, but it's been getting progressively better and, hopefully it continues to, I should say.
So moved.
Second.
Motion a second to approve the resolution 943-01-14-2023. Certifying delinquent Leisure Lake sewer assessments as presented. All those in favor say aye. Aye, opposed, nay. Motion carried.
Motion needed to approve resolution number 944-03-14-2023 for an appropriations transfer from the public health nurses to the general assistance for $5,000 effective March 14th, 2023.
Make that motion.
Second.
Have a motion and a second to approve the resolution 944-03-14-2023. That's for appropriations transfer from the public health nurse to general assistance as presented. All those in favor say aye. Aye, opposed, nay. Motion carries.
And that's just because we've had some things that have happened in the general assistance budget and it's, takes her down to $1,000.
1,300, but yeah, and she's got another burial that will, meet the qualifications of us paying the funeral home, which is more than what she has left in her budget. So that's hence $5,000 temporary transfer from the nurses to the general assistance.
So we'll be looking at a budget amendment.
I see there was a funeral on this week's claims also, so. For general assistance.
Yes.
So Shelley, what was your?
So then, the other reason I'm in here is to request that you do a budget amendment. I need, in order to get enough money in Becky's budget for, in a timely manner to get it to the newspaper for publication for the amendment, so that she has enough money to pay all of these expenses. I want to have a budget hearing on April 4th. So that's getting really down to crunch time. I need to get it to the newspaper by Friday.
So I sent an email out to some of the departments that I know are getting close on their budget. If you need a budget amendment, please let me know by 9 a.m. on Friday, so I can get it included in the budget amendment notice that I sent to the newspaper. So I have not heard yet, it's just Becky who was the one that spurred the amendment.
So you need action to approve the publication for the public hearing on April 4th.
Yes, I will make that motion.
Second.
Motion second to approve the publication for public hearing on April 4th as presented. All those in favor say aye. Aye, opposed nay. Motion carried.
And that's just for the amendment for this year. Right. Thank you for correcting that.
Yes, I didn't even realize that I had.
It's in it, I just kept going, because when I get it, for whatever reason, in that Swanker, Mac Mayor email address, it sent it as a DAT file, WinDAT. I could never open it. And so I was just, I was like, why can't I see this, you know? And then I noticed, oh, I was like, that's why I was like, hey, could you send it to my county? And
Yep,
can
I
do
thought
this.
I was sending it to you, but that must have been the one that was coming out first.
Right.
Yeah, you do that to mine for the claims too, they all go to my first one.
I do?
My counties.
Yeah.
I have to keep
Okay.
track on when it's claimed,
I
I
just
gotta
have
go
to
to the other
delete
one.
those.
It is public.
Yeah, delete those.
Yeah,
Oh, yeah. The other reason that I'm in here is, and I don't know whether you wanna do it as a work session or not. I need to know next week is the public hearing for the next levy.
Yep.
And normally at that hearing, after that hearing and you approve that levy, or that resolution, then we go ahead and publish or approve publication of the budget hearing notice.
Good.
The budget as it stands right now, is it okay for you? Do you have any changes? Do you wanna look at it by next Tuesday or next Monday? Cause then I'll be able to present it on Tuesday, but.
Of all the discussions that we had, I think I'm personally okay with it. Now, we had discussion today with Matt, so I don't know if that's gonna change anything or not. I assume that
Hopefully that doesn't throw us into the.
well, there's gonna be a carryover. It's not gonna be used, so he didn't use any for the current year budget.
The only question I got left on the budget is when do we sit down and decide of the three, red, green or yellow?
Right now it's green.
Which one are we,
That's-
which one are we going with?
That's kind of where we need some direction as far as what your decision is, so we can prepare the appropriate paperwork.
So,
Okay, so I guess we can pull that out here in the work session after do we need a resolution for that and?
I just need to know,
Okay,
put
well,
that into your brain.
let's briefly take a look here after the meeting and the work session and. We'll take a
we
decision.
can do the budget work sessions. but-
Yeah. So, okay. Anything else, Shelley?
That's it.
We'll have you back in a bit, hopefully. Again, Lisa, your, agenda item for the closing on the parking lot will be,
At a future date.
did we table that or did we not?
Nothing was really said. I didn't, when I talked to John last week, there was some discussion because we haven't received a closing statement yet. So we don't have any money to, to pay them yet. We don't know what that is. So, I mean, I don't believe that we need, anything John explained, we don't have
So-
any money in this week's claims period to pay that.
Sure. So being that's on the agenda, should we just make a motion to table?
Okay.
make that motion.
Second.
Have a motion and a second to table the purchase of the clothing or on the corner parking lot as presented. All those in favor say aye. Aye, opposed nay. Motion carried. Are there any other discussions, reports? Again, we were in Des Moines later part of last week. Good sessions, different things that we talked and discussed. Of course, we talked legislation, of course, too, and no, it was a good session, good interaction with.
We did get I did meet up with a couple of people that are very knowledgeable on some of the projects that could be coming, so I passed that along to Lori. she seemed pretty receptive to that, to their contact information, so. We'll see how that goes.
And of course, we're still waiting for walls. I don't know, Felicia, if you've heard any more from John.
I haven't, no, not on that.
It's weird, it seems like every time he shows up and he gives us a date, they're gonna show up. They don't. And
He disappears and they do too.
Not really weird, no, that's pretty common.
Been a routine.
I know that.
every time he does that, I want a 10% dock on his service fee.
I think he's kind of in a hardship there too, to be honest, but I don't know how to proceed any quicker or faster, or, I don't know. It's a tough scenario when you can't get. the
I threw
supply.
that text out to you, I heard so through the grapevine, they couldn't find a crane, I was like, well, the wise got one just sitting there, can we borrow it for a little bit?
I don't think you can.
It looks like a big one. But I
So,
think
yeah.
actually when he talked about how he wanted to put the crane right on the north, the south, the west side, so we could kind of get it, but an awful lot of power lines right there. And I was just curious to see
I
how,
think he was talking more south of the utility building up there, but I'm not sure, I guess, again.
it's just on that whole west side,
Yeah,
it's just line, there's a lot of power lines.
his baby.
Yeah.
Anything else before the board this morning?
Most of adjourn.
Okay.
We have a motion, a second to adjourn. All those in favor say aye. Aye. Opposed, nay? Motion carried. Meeting adjourned.